and welcome to this quick unboxing I'm going to do of what I hope is in this box, an iPhone XS Max. Ordered a XS Max in space grey for myself and a XS in the new gold colour for my wife. So we'll see what that looks like. It hasn't arrived yet, but we'll do a quick unboxing of this. I'm also going to give you a little bit of information as to why I decided to move away from Android and opt for an iOS device again after a couple of years. I came from this is a Note 8 I have at the minute. I've had it for about a year, but I decided it was time to jump back over to iOS. So I'll give you a bit of information about that. Maybe in time I'll do a comparison between the two for the channel, but in the meantime, hope you enjoy the unboxing. Without further ado, let's head over and get started. Alright guys, so now this is actually being filmed on an iPhone XS Max as well, so there we go, get rid of that nice crunchy paper. Open the box. Usual Apple stuff, I guess. Probably some stickers in here. Stickers, bin, little hello instructions. Just basic controls, what all the buttons do. Nothing particularly interesting there. Do notice they mentioned that AirPower unit, which hasn't been obviously released yet, but that's obviously still in the pipeline. Within that, you've got the SIM key here, designed by Apple in California. Here's the unit. And what I will say is, I've actually been using the XS Max for the last couple of weeks, so kind of comparing it to the Note 8 that I was using previously. And I remember a lot of people talking about, you know, the lag on the Android device, which I never noticed, but having used this for 2 weeks and then going back to a Note 8, it really is noticeable how smooth and buttery the interface is on the iPhone. So yeah, in terms of the actual interface and so on, it's definitely noticeably smoother on the iPhone, albeit the Note 8 is now a year old or whatever. What I noticed about that was, and the reason I actually opted for this new iPhone was simply because the battery on the Note 8 kind of took a nosedive off a cliff in the last few months. I think it was really a software update that came in, and it really changed the battery. I would have to charge it maybe 2-3 times during the day. That's how bad it had got. So my goal with this was to get good battery life. I always like the way Apple devices are kind of optimized for battery and so on, because everything is controlled from the hardware and software within each unit. It's normally really solid performance regardless of the size of the battery and so on. So that's one thing I noticed. Second thing is the build quality, which is second to none, I have to say. I had the Note 8. Let me just get this up. Had the Note 8 obviously for a year or a little over, and it was really nice, great build quality and everything. But even the Note 8, Note 9, you compare it to an Apple product, and I have to say, at least one thing that Apple still do right, they do plenty wrong, but one thing they still do right is build quality. Exceptional build quality, really nice materials. Love it. I love the space grey colour here. It's probably hard to see, it probably just looks black. You can see it a little bit more in the detailing around the edges, which again is a nice rich grey. It's definitely not as deep black as, for instance, the Note 8 I had, but it's a beautiful unit. Really nice. One thing, the reason I'm actually filming this on a XS Max and getting a new XS Max is that the buttons on the unit that I'm filming on right now, there was a funny issue with the volume up button where it wasn't clicking. Don't know if you can hear that. So that you can hear that those two buttons hopefully click equally. Now what I found on the unit that I'm recording this on was that this volume up button was actually depressed. It was sitting down a little bit, and you didn't really get the click noise. Not only that, then if I was watching videos or something and I had it resting, it was, because the volume button was already slightly depressed, any weight on that at all could send the volume going up. So obviously I contacted T-Mobile actually for this, and said, look, it's, there's obviously something, a bit of an issue. It's not a big issue, but I'd rather have it right. So they sent out this replacement, which is what I'm looking at now. So yeah, I mean, the phone itself, of course, I've had a couple of weeks to use it. Definitely the best phone I've ever had in terms of just the speed and responsiveness and so on. It's been really, really nice. The complaints I have are related to this. I don't know why they offer a 5-watt power brick. It's kind of disgraceful that they offer fast charging on the unit, but they don't give you a fast charger out of the box. The one thing with Samsung that I noticed when I went to rebox my Note 8 to send it back in the last week or so, was that not only do they give you the fast charger, which is a really fast charger, and they give you earphones just like Apple do, which are, you get AKGs with the Note 8. I haven't even used these. I do use Beats headphones, so these aren't going to really get used unless the kids want them. So I don't really compare like sound quality and so on, but you get this with the Note 8. You get the fast charger and the cable that actually works and everything. But the other thing is you get a lot of the other stuff that you would need as a user of a high-powered phone. So you get little adapters. So I've got a MacBook Pro that I do most of my work on. And what Samsung did, which was really classy, was they give you all the right adapters, like a USB-C or a USB to USB-C connector. Obviously, they don't have the Lightning connector like Apple do. But then on the MacBook Pro, they do have the USB-C, which is a bit weird. I don't understand why they're doing that on the MacBook range, but not kind of transferring it over to the phones. So of course you get no adapters in this to convert to the Lightning connector. I don't know why they don't use USB-C, and that way you could charge your MacBook as well as your phone. And then they don't give you any other adapters like a USB to USB-C, so you can actually connect some stuff to say a MacBook, or even just whatever dongles you might need. I can't believe on a $1,300 phone like this is, I got the 256 gig option. I can't believe they don't actually, first of all, give you a fast charger. This is virtually useless. The only thing it's okay for and acceptable is that you charge overnight, which most people do. The battery on the unit itself has been on, at least on my first unit, was exceptional. I would normally get to maybe 50% by 9 o'clock at night, unplugging early in the morning, maybe at 6:30 or 7, and just kind of normal use, the odd video, lots of email, photos. It's been really, really good in terms of battery life. Definitely an all-day battery life, much more so than the Note 8. Can't compare it to the Note 9, of course, because I opted for this instead of that. But you would think it would probably be fairly comparable in terms of performance and time. But what I notice about iPhones, which I really like, is when you turn it on in the morning and it says 100%, you unplug it. Normally it takes quite a while to even go down to 99%. You'll be sitting on 100% for maybe 30 minutes, even just with normal kind of use, checking your emails and browsing social media and so on. So that's what I like about the Apple units. Battery is always consistent, always pretty much you get a good, full day out of it. Let's just see if we turn it on. I'm not going to do the setup now because I'm going to have to transfer all the content from this unit over to the new one. But a few other kind of perceptions over just having used it for the last couple of weeks. Screen is fantastic, really, really nice. To me, it's quite comparable to the Note 8 screen in terms of quality, very crisp, vibrant, rich colors. They have that true tone display. I tend to think that that's actually quite an accurate description. You do feel that the colors and tones on this unit, as compared to, say, the Note 8, and therefore probably the Note 9 as well, are a little bit more true to life. But the screen itself is really fantastic, really nice, bright, especially outdoor usage and everything has not been a problem at all. Off angle viewing has been pretty good as well. You don't get much much indication of that from a white screen with some black writing on it, but yeah, it's pretty good. The OLED screen is really, really nice. Beautiful when you're watching media or whatever. You get that, fully, when everything kind of blacks out, it's just pitch black all the way around. Just, looks really classy. So screen has been great. Aside from that volume up issue that I had, all the buttons were working well. iOS 12 is really, really good. Certainly the best iteration of iOS that I've encountered. You won't be able to see, of course, the quality. You can see the quality of the video from this. But the screen is really, really nice. Build quality again, going around the edges and everything. Just usual Apple build quality. Lovely kind of sweeping glass around the edges. Really nice tactile sounds. For the buttons, again, all the nice metal everywhere. And you can see that kind of space grey colour now. And around the back there a little bit. I guess one design complaint is that the camera kind of sits out at a bulk. So if you set it on a desk, if you didn't have, for instance, a cover on it, you find it does that a little bit. I do have a cover, which I can't show you because it's on this phone, but it's the Apple leather case, so it's just like the normal. It's not a flip case or anything like that, but it's the genuine leather kind of basic case, and it's actually really nice, I have to say. I definitely would not be using one of these phones without a cover of some description, and but any recommendations as well would be make sure that it has a raised lip around the screen, because that's of course going to be your kind of panic mode setting. If you drop that and it doesn't protect the screen, it's not going to go so well. I do hear good things about the kind of robustness of the glass on this device. Apparently it is genuinely probably the hardest wearing of any smartphone, so that's good news, especially for something so expensive. Complaints again, I didn't really understand why they had to kind of break all this up in terms of design with the antenna band, but call quality, I have to say, has been head and shoulders above what I was getting on the Note 8. Genuinely way better. I would find I'd be talking to people on the Note 8 and it would drop in and out. If I was leaving a voicemail, the microphone would dip in and out, so if I listened to the voicemail back, you were missing words, it kind of went muffled for no reason, that kind of stuff. It does not happen on the iPhone. Both hearing quality, the microphone at the bottom has been excellent. The speaker at the top is fantastic. Music on the unit as well has been really good. It's got the stereo speaker setup, so you get the speaker here and then one at the top. It's funny because when you set it in portrait mode, it sounds one way. If you set it in landscape mode, it's kind of as it should be. You get the kind of speakers firing left and right instead of, left and right. It kind of sounds a little bit weird, but the quality of the speakers is great. I'll show you a separate test on that. Just to give you an idea, I'm just going to play the same song on Note 8 and the iPhone XS Max, and you can see the differences between the two. So here's the Note 8 first. Don't know how this is going to come across on the speakers, just with the microphone here, but here we go. That's full volume as well, just you kind of need it at full volume for it to be audible. So I don't know how that'll come across, but the difference is pretty marked when you're sitting in front of it. There's a lot more dynamic range in the iPhone speakers. You can hear a lot more in terms of the instrumentation and the vocals. They kind of come in a little bit louder. The Note 8's a little bit more tinny, but of course it's driving from a single speaker down the bottom, so it always is going to be. Whereas this is they've got a speaker up top and then a stereo, other one to create the stereo sound at the bottom here. But it's a really nice sound actually for a phone. Now I don't really ever play music on my phone. It's very, very rare. I normally have like stick on, we have a Bose sound link. If it's missing for some reason, I might use my phone. Or if we're out on the patio and I don't have it with me or whatever, I'll maybe chuck the phone up and put something on. Quality wise, it's a noticeable difference from the Note 8. But no phone is going to be that good, let's face it, compared to like a Sonos system or a Bose, which are the ones that I use around the house. But it's nice and beefy. There's a decent amount of bass, good dynamic range across the board. So I just want to let you hear that, and just for more kind of first impressions. It looks really nice. It's the same as iPhones in the past have always been. Everything is very well polished. The fonts, they just have this crispness to them that you don't always get with an Android phone. Coming back to it, I kind of missed that. So it's nice to see all that kind of stuff. You really do notice it in the text and the scrolling. It's just everything's so seamless and well put together. Alright, so just to show you the Note 8 and the Apple iPhone XS Max side by side. So you can see there the difference in the shading, just to show you the space grey compared to a pure black phone as per the Note 8. You can see the difference there. Build quality again is excellent on both phones. Like, I have no complaints. The iPhone does feel a little bit more solid, just around the edges and so on. Obviously they've kind of slightly updated the Note 8 with the Note 9, more chamfered edges just around the exterior of the phone there. But the build quality on both is really, really nice. You'll see that the Note 8 is that little bit taller, a little bit slimmer as well. You set them kind of side by side, you can sort of see the iPhone jutting out just ever so slightly if I keep everything flat on this side. Nothing that you'd really notice. It does feel a little bit wider when you're holding it, as compared to the Note 8, which is a really thin phone with that kind of weird extra wide aspect ratio, or extra tall, I guess. If you're watching movies, this is a great phone. This has been great as well. Actually, I've watched a couple of things on it. The notch doesn't bother me anywhere near as much as I expected it to. In fact, I kind of like it, which probably you're not allowed to say that, but I like the functionality of it, the way the information that's kind of secondary, like your battery and your connectivity and the time and so on, gets shot up into these two little corners. It actually works, I think, really well. And it also kind of, for some reason, highlights the screen, the quality of the screen. You kind of see the sharpness around that, the sleek glass going off the edges and dipping down. It's actually really, really nice. I'm no longer a hater of the notch, I guess. So you can see there by default the Note 8, both of them haven't been set up or anything like that, but the Note 8 definitely has a kind of more bluish tint to the screen out of the box. The iPhone's a little bit warmer there, but I have had the True Tone display on when I've been using it, and I'm pretty happy with the way it kind of adapts to the lighting and so on that you're viewing in. Also, this is kind of the best use of the kind of auto dimming, auto brightness control that I've seen. It tends to just really well optimize the screen brightness for the surroundings that you're in. So I think it works really well. As you can see from this video quality is exceptional, way better than I've ever found on the Note 8, which could be a little bit jittery. This is being filmed in, I guess, 4K 30 frames per second. But nice and smooth, sharp imagery, good auto focusing. See, instantly pretty much it's focusing on the edge there and all that kind of stuff. So that just gives you an idea of the quality. There you go again. The quality of the camera on this unit, I know it was a fairly substantial upgrade from previous year, and it is a lot better from what I've seen, certainly in terms of video compared to the Note 8. Camera wise, The Note 8 is a really good camera, I have to say. This is probably that little bit better, just kind of slightly sharper images. There is that funny kind of beautifying thing on the front-facing camera when you do it in portrait mode, which I don't think anybody likes. Hopefully they get rid of that. I think it's just a software issue. If you haven't seen that, just to give you an idea, maybe pop up some photos so you can see how it kind of softens the image. But yeah, that's pretty much the iPhone XS Max. Again, just kind of my thoughts in terms of the first couple of weeks of use. I've got to say, out of any phone I've had, there's no real weakness in the phone. Battery life is great, screen is exceptional, build quality is there. The sound in terms of the speakers, the stereo speakers, has been really, really nice. And yeah, everything has been really good. The user experience has been really fluid. User interface, the iOS 12 has been very fast, very snappy, really, really smooth, no glitches or stutters or anything like that. I have no complaints. No way would I be going back at the moment to the Note line, just in terms of the things I've kind of, got used to with the Apple, with the iPhone, the speed, the quality of everything, from the sound, the screen, video, camera settings. It's all been really, really good. Everything is just so smooth out of the box. I don't envisage that storage is going to be a problem with this at 256 gigabytes. That's roughly what I had in my Note 8, and I didn't really get near to it over a year or so of use. So yeah, that's my kind of initial impressions of the iPhone XS Max. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments section. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks. Hey guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I can keep you posted with all the free training on the channel. Look forward to seeing you again. Have a good one.